Blame Truth here, and what you're looking at is the Payday 3 UI. At least I think it is. This is from the beta, I want to say. Not sure if it was changed in the full release because I have not purchased the game. It came out an hour or two ago, as of the time of this video, and I've not purchased it because I've been reading nothing but negativity about it, pretty much. But this is the UI as the last I saw it, and it looks like Call of Duty, doesn't it? Let's just call a spade a spade. It looks like COD. This isn't the only thing they kind of borrowed or stolen from COD with Payday 3, but just seeing that screenshot alone turned me off. Not to mention all the negativity I've been reading about the game on the subreddit. It looks pretty bad, or at the very least, mid. And this isn't the only game that I was kind of looking forward to that shit the bed, and I don't like, and I probably won't get, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that game. I've been roasting that game since it came out because I bought it, and I felt really stupid. I felt really, really stupid when I bought it because it's not a full release game. It's still in beta, and they messed up crossplay, and they messed up the anti-cheat, and as a PC player, it's just not fun. It's not good. They messed up, and they still haven't fixed it. PC players are locked out of crossplay because of the anti-cheating, or the lack of anti-cheating measures in the game. And it's an insult. It's an insult that the game released in the state it did. It should not be, I don't know, it needed more time in the oven. Payday 3, from what I've seen, needs more time in the oven. Starfield is another game that I was kind of looking forward to, and everything I've seen about it makes it look horrible. I watched Synthetic Man's review on it, which was over an hour, to really get a proper, I guess, taste of it, because I'm truly sick of buying a game and then like hoping I didn't play it enough or something for a refund. I'm tired of it. I bought Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and after a couple hours, I'm like, I need to refund this now. For one, I found out it was on Game Pass, so I could just play it for free on my PC. But for two, the game's bad, and then they released some update which made the game worse, and they broke crossplay, and they didn't have a proper anti-cheat. It was a disaster. I wouldn't mind paying the $40, even if it's free on Game Pass, just to own it. It's not really free on Game Pass, you gotta pay for Game Pass, but you know what I mean. I wouldn't mind paying $40. I loved F13, Friday the 13th, the game. Same dev team or whatever. They shit the bed here. It's in no way as good as that game. It's worse pretty much in every way, and it's not very well thought out. It's not very well polished. It's glitchy. It's buggy. It's unfinished. And this is just a theme I've noticed with any kind of mainstream release. And I'm done getting hyped, and it's depressing. As a lifelong gamer, it is depressing. I cannot get hyped. I can't get hyped for anything. I need to look at every single game release as someone trying to trick me now. Do you guys feel like you're in the same boat? It's not the fact that I refunded it. You know, I don't have to play it again. I don't have to talk about it again, whatever. Like, I feel stupid that I wasted my time in the first place buying the game. I feel duped. And then, again, like I said earlier, I gotta hope I didn't play it enough so I could get a refund on Steam or Xbox, wherever I'm playing it at. I'm tired. It's just this Call of Duty effect, like this Call of Duty cancer just spreading throughout all mainstream games, as you saw with the UI ripoff. And it gets worse. It gets more egregious and silly. And we're going to cover Payday 3. We're going to cover Starfield. We're going to cover Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to cover Call of Duty after a brief word from this video's sponsor. But guys, like, it's truly hard to be a gamer. And we're going to really delve into why. And not just why, but what I think is the cause of it. We're going to get kind of into a social commentary a bit. So stay tuned. I think you guys will find this very interesting. I'll be right back. Today's video is sponsored by Groove Life. This is their third sponsorship on the channel. I will be covering the Groove Life Go wallet, the Groove Wallet, and the Groove Belt. So first things first, the Groove Wallet Go. This is MagSafe compatible. Here it is on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. But it also uses this micro suction technology, which makes it very secure. Much more secure than Apple's official MagSafe wallet, which I gave that away because it was bad. But if you're more of a traditionalist, Groove Life has you covered with their amazing Groove Wallet, which will hold more cash, more cards, and will not lose them. And you'll look really cool using this sweet little James Bond like flip-up feature. Absolutely love this wallet. Absolutely love this feature. The cash strap works wonderfully. The leather is genuine and supple. It's an attractive, great, modern wallet. But that's not all. We have the Groove Belt as well. My problem with belts is I was cursed with a 28-inch waist, but but like a 41, 42-inch chest. I'm shaped like an upside-down Dorito or Johnny Bravo, so belts have always been odd to size for me. I just don't have a waist. But Groove Life belts are like infinitely adjustable, and they have the perfect amount of stretch. The fastener is held together by magnets, so you can actually do this with one hand. It's so easy to fasten. Once you get it adjusted once, you're good to go, and then you can just snap it in place, and it's great for business, casual, camping in the woods, yard work, and everything in between. So guys, it is time to bring your belt and wallet game into the 21st century. Head to groovelife.com/blametruth for 20% off of your entire purchase. Get yourself some goodies. They are dog approved as well. My dog buddy even loves it. He doesn't even have pants. He's a fan of Groove Life. See you guys later. Alright guys, just so you can see that I'm not hating on the game, hating on the franchise, whatever, I have about 480 hours played on the Steam edition of Payday 2. This game's great. It's fun to play every now and then. I've played it on and off for the past decade or so. Had a good time. It's a great game. It's fun just to, I don't know, it's fun to play on mouse and keyboard. I don't play on mouse and keyboard that often, but when I do, I like Payday 2, you know what I mean? I like old Valve games like Half-Life 2, Black Mesa or whatever, which is not technically a Valve game, it's a remake of Half-Life 1, but you know what I'm saying. Left 4 Dead 2 and whatnot. I don't know, they feel good on mouse and keyboard. I enjoy them, so I play them. That's really all I can say. But really, when it comes down to it, I'm a big fan of Payday 2, and I was looking forward to Payday 3, and here I am again, disappointed. You know, I'm a big fan of Skyrim. I'm a big fan of Bethesda games, at least old Bethesda games. I loved Fallout 3. I loved Fallout New Vegas. I liked Oblivion okay, although I got glitched out quite a bit playing that game. And I love Skyrim. I think Skyrim is one of the best games ever made for the simple fact that it is a platform that can be built upon with mods, and you can turn it into really whatever you want. Just because of that alone, I think it's one of the best RPGs ever. But even the base vanilla game, when it came out, was pretty legendary, no pun intended, and great game, you know? I got nothing bad to say. Like, Elden Ring, and I don't want to shit on all like new games or whatever, because there's still some really good stuff releasing. Elden Ring was fantastic, and I really liked the Resident Evil 4 remake. I thought that was great, and I'm going to be playing the Ada DLC that's releasing soon. But aside from a few exceptions, modern gaming is in the toilet. And I want to kind of break down why in this video. This is going to be kind of different. Normally I just complain and I say some funny stuff and I give some pretty intelligent solutions, but I don't really have a solution for any of this. But I do want to kind of break down why not only bad or mid games are being made and released by studios that released great games in the past. I also want to cover people that like these mid to bad games and will stick up for them. There's some weird thing going on now where it's like us versus them with a lot of stuff. Do you guys remember the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy controversy or whatever, where people are like bullying streamers because they're playing it and calling them transphobic and all this stuff? There's a lot of social issues in gaming nowadays, and it's just one of those things where like it's not even that. It's just the whole Western civilization. We're all screwed up. We're all fucked up. I don't really know if it's ever gonna get better. From my point of view, it's just going to get worse and worse, and this is why I kind of choose, as I get older, I'm 34 now, as I get older, I kind of just, I wouldn't call it isolate, but I kind of just pick and choose very, very wisely who I want to be around. I've always kind of been like that, but lately especially, I have just really dialed in who I want to give my time to, who gets my time, who's deserving of my time, who I want to spend my time with. You know what I'm saying? And I would really recommend you guys do the same and really, really screen people. Screen yourself as well if you find yourself just getting sucked into all this stupid shit. But anyway, I digress. I want to get into why these games are bad after I show you some more Payday 3 examples of the game being pretty awful. Like, I don't know. I just want to read some complaints here because I was really looking forward to this game. Let me just read this real quick here. Is anyone else just disappointed as it pertains to Payday 3? Like, I'm not mad that I wasted so much money on what is now a mediocre game. I'm just disappointed the game was released even early in this state. There's so much mediocrity to the game that it's not even worthy of hating. And the fact that it's online only, the bland UI, the bare bones skill and weapon system, a lack of server browser, no voice chat, and various other things coming from Payday 2 to Payday 3, the game seems to have no character, nothing to make it pop. I understand they wanted a more grounded and realistic game, but at what cost? Payday 2 was fun because it had so much character and charm, and this is just bland. And I've seen a lot of this. And if you look here, you can see where it kind of gets bland. Again, they just kind of rip off the Call of Duty plus and minus attachment system. What? I don't understand why this game even had to come out if it's just going to rip off Call of Duty. The whole point of Payday 2 and the reason a lot of people played it was because it was a unique experience, down to the UI, down to like the little things that made the game have that oomph factor. A lot of people see people complaining about these UI things or like little things that maybe in a vacuum by themselves don't matter, but when you add them all up and look at the big picture, it makes for a very mediocre, boring, bland, flawed experience. Let's read some more here though. This guy says, I've refunded the game twice and just got it for the third time since I felt like I didn't give it a chance. But after 2 games, I feel like it just lacks so much. I liked having to create a build that had different benefits to a heist. Now I can unlock everything and loot everything just by walking around the map, finding a few items. I do not see any reason to play a heist more than twice. Yet to level up, I need to play some 40 plus times for 1 achievement. No one can accuse you at that point of not giving it a fair shake, says the person replying to this guy. I do not see a reason to play a heist more than twice, and he says, ouch. And I don't know, man. I've read full-on threads about like all the things wrong with the game, and you could check out the subreddit, and you could say like, I need to play the game first before I judge myself. I need to not trust the opinion of others or whatever. Typically speaking, I don't trust the opinions of others. I don't follow reviews at all, like mainstream reviews, like IGN. Who gives a shit what those idiots think? Those are just casuals that, you know, have the personality of like wet cardboard trying to complaining that there's too much water in a Pokemon game or something. Remember that meme? Anyway, and for that matter, I don't really trust a lot of user reviews. What I do trust are the people speaking out on the issues, because I know these people are thinking like me. And you could say like, these people are just being negative, don't like it, don't play it, etc., etc. The Evil Dead game just pretty much ceased to exist as of yesterday, I think it was, because guess what? People didn't like it. People didn't play it. It wasn't marketed very well. It wasn't balanced very well from what I heard. Games are going to literally disappear and not be playable. With this games as a service model now, you can't just say, don't like it, don't play it. Go play something else, because people will. People don't have time to play mid to bad games. At least people with a brain don't. I can't say the same for a lot of Call of Duty players, but hey, you guys need more help than what I can actually give you in my videos here. I can insult you, and I can say, hey, get your shit together, play something better. It's not gonna matter, man. It's not gonna matter. The point of all this, though, is, like, games, for the most part, a lot of new games are bad. Pay close attention to the people speaking out on the games, and then wait a few months and then look at the average review score, average user review score. That will usually be where the game actually is. People at launch praising the game blindly are in the honeymoon period. They're emotional. They don't have your best interest in mind. People at launch criticizing the flaws, they do have your best interest in mind. They don't accept mediocrity. They've probably been playing games for 10, 20, 30 years. They know what's good. They've seen it done better. Trust them, please. And I'm in that camp. I try to steer you guys right. You can think I'm a dick. That's fine. I think I'm being a pretty nice guy because I'm really, really trying to save you some money. And not just money, but time. Time is more valuable than money. So no, I don't think I'll play Payday 3. I don't think I'll even play Starfield. I don't want to give these mid/bad games my time. And honestly, I'm not the only one that thinks this. If we go to Steam charts, which, again, hard data, I'm giving you hard data, this isn't just some opinion piece or whatever, you can see that a lot of people are in the same boat. Check this out. The top 25 games are pretty much all old stuff. Yeah, there's the occasional new thing like Call of Duty, they're at number 12, but that's Warzone and Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 combined. But most of the stuff is old. Left 4 Dead 2 is on here, Path of Exile, Team Fortress 2, etc., Terraria. Most of the stuff is just like things released in the past decade or so that have continued to get updates. Like Dead by Daylight here. Say what you want about Dead by Daylight. I know that a lot of people hate on the game or whatever, but getting into this game, I've had a pretty good time. It's a lot of content. They've stuck with it. They've improved it over time as the game has progressed. I think they just announced this new update, which sounds pretty darn good. You know, I was kind of getting bored of the game, kind of getting tired of the game. They announced a new update. Looks good. So, like, I'll play it. I'll keep playing it. It's old. It's ugly. The animations are bad. I get it. Payday 2, I'm going to go back and play that because Payday 3 looks like it's not ready. I don't want to play it. So I'm just going to go back and play Payday 2. Yeah, it's ugly. The animations are bad, but it works. You know what I mean? Left 4 Dead 2. I forgot that game was a thing, actually, because it's been so long since I played it. But seeing it on the Steam charts, I might go back and play that. It's fun. Why is this though? Like, I want to get into why new games are coming out and they're bad, and it seems like the same dev teams that we trusted a decade ago are just releasing garbage now, or releasing things that just aren't as good as they once were. Bethesda's guilty of this. All the Call of Duty devs, all 3 of them are guilty of this. All 4 of them, all 50 of them, whatever. I've lost count of how many actually work on the game now. You know, the guys that made F13, a brilliant game, their first entry, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is pretty much dead in the water. And that game's going to be pretty much dead, I'd say, in the next couple months. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? I truly do think it is, this is a bit of a social commentary, but I truly do think it is because we are not focused on hiring people that are passionate, that are talented, and that really know what makes games fun to make the games anymore. I think we are focused on hiring people for diversity's sake, or hiring women for the fact that they're women, or hiring, you know, different creeds and stuff like that, instead of just hiring the people that are the best fit for the job. And that's not a knock on anyone. It's not a knock on any gender or sex or whatever. I don't really care who makes my game. A midget from planet Neutron, it can make the game for all I care, as long as it's good and fun. I really don't give a shit, you know? Like, who cares who makes the game? I simply want the game to be good. And there's a lot of little social issues snuck into these games nowadays that kind of prove my point. So a lot of people were pretty upset over, like, pronouns being put into, like, pronoun selection or something being put into Starfield. I personally don't really care, but I do see what they're doing, and it does feel kind of forced, so I get it, you know? But if you look at this screenshot, it kind of just says all you need to know about modern gaming. Like, and this isn't just from the dev's point of view, this is user point of view as well. Nexus Mods faces threats of violence after banning Starfield pronouns mod. Players have the choice of he, him, she, hers, and they, them in the game. There was a mod that changed that and got that out of there. I don't really agree with Nexus Mods removing it. I don't really agree with threats of violence over this stupid shit. Like, what does it matter? Why are both sides caring this much about it? Make, like, a passing remark about it and then move on, you know? Like, I get it. I truly do get it. From both sides, I get it. But can we focus on just making a fun game? Like, who cares? Who cares about any of this stuff? I care about the game being fun. And from what I've seen of Starfield, I'm sorry for those that like it. It does not look fun. It looks like a downgrade. There's not even, like, alien races in the game. It's just a bunch of weird-looking minorities in space, dressed like they just raided some 30-year-old woman from California's Poshmark store. And you can't swim, and all of the randomly generated planets seem pretty boring to explore. And the writing seems bad. It doesn't seem good. I just want a good game. I just want a good game. I don't care about any of this stuff. I want a good game made by people who are talented and good at their job. That's all I want. Now on the other end of the spectrum, why are so many people eating these games up still, despite them being bad? There's a big portion of gamers out there that will buy and play these mid games and then defend them to the death. A certain balding, egg-headed weirdo on Twitter is defending Starfield like it's his job or something. It's just weird and it's cringy, and it's like, find something better to do with your time, please. I love Elden Ring. I think it's one of the best RPGs I've pretty much ever played. Some people don't like it. Some people like the old school From games, like the Dark Souls series or whatever. I personally don't really like the Dark Souls series. And I get that that's kind of a weird opinion, and I get that that's not maybe the most popular opinion out there. But I'm not a huge fan of Dark Souls. I'm a big fan of Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring is better. You know, I think Elden Ring's a fantastic game, even not comparing it to Dark Souls. Some people don't like it, though. That's fine. You're allowed not to like it. I'm allowed not to like Call of Duty. You are. And I could sit here in my videos and say like, hey, people that like Call of Duty probably have brain damage. And I kind of agree with that. But you're still allowed to like it, you know? You're still allowed to be addicted to it, whatever. I understand. I really do. But at the end of the day, why are people so into these bad to mid games? Like, seriously, why are they so into them? I think it's truly because they have nothing better to do with their time. We're in an age where men especially just are really pathetic. And this isn't me being some like Andrew Tate and me being some alpha male machismo guy. I'm not trying to do that. But I am saying that testosterone levels are dropping. Men are getting more and more like fat. It's just statistics, at least in the Western civilization. We're getting more and more lazy. We're getting more and more depressed. We're not going out as much. We're not dating as much. We're not enjoying the company of women as much. It's statistics, man. Like, you can look it up. I'm not making it up. You can look all this stuff up. You can just type into Google, like, testosterone rates falling among men and all this stuff. Men, a lot of men play video games. A lot of women do too. I don't want to be sexist here. But overall, I think that a lot of people simply have nothing better to do, and they are content with just playing something new to distract them, at least temporarily, from the harsh reality they live in. And maybe they've played these old games too much. Maybe they're younger and they haven't like been introduced to these older games. And when I say older, I mean released in the past like decade, like, you know, maybe 5-10 years old or whatever. Maybe they're just not knowing of Left 4 Dead 2. Maybe they don't really know Payday 2. Maybe they just see Payday 3 getting hyped up and they're like, I'm gonna play this, and then they play it and they're like, oh, this is good, despite the fact that it's not, and they haven't played the old games. And if you keep accepting mediocrity, if you keep accepting these bad games as a whole will get worse. And I think we are seeing that, and this is what I've been trying to preached for the past 4 to 5 years with Call of Duty, and we're seeing Payday 3 being a living example of this, basically ripping off a lot of the bad elements of Call of Duty, and maybe even being developed by the same people who made Call of Duty. Maybe they have jobs on the side, I don't know. But you can't accept mediocrity, and I refuse to accept mediocrity. And me as a gaming YouTuber, I will never, ever praise something that I am not 100% behind. I just won't. You won't see me praise something that I think is crap, or that is bad, or that is hurting certain users in certain areas. Like, so many gamers are selfish with this. They'll be like, well, I've never experienced this issue, so it must not exist. Yeah, no, I don't fly that way, man. If a game releases and I play just fine in North Carolina, you know where I'm at, if I play just fine and everything's great, that's cool. But if people in like Japan can't play the game and their servers are awful, I'm going to take that into consideration, and I'm gonna put that into the like actual review score of the game. I'm not gonna say, well, I've never experienced it. Okay, that's fine. I've never experienced like grotesque hunger. That doesn't mean people aren't starving in third world countries, right? That's just ignorant, and it's selfish, and it's egotistical if I say, well, that doesn't affect me, so it's not an issue. No, get that shit out of here. I've seen that so much. Anyone that has that argument should immediately be discredited and should not be taken seriously in any forum, really. But regardless, guys, that is my piece. I've said my piece. That is my official statement on all of this. Payday 3, disappointment, it looks like. I'm not going to get it. I was looking forward to it. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother wasting my time playing it. I've seen all I need to see. Texas Chainsaw, piece of garbage. I played a little bit. I regret playing it and wasting my time. Not going to bother revisiting it. Sorry. And what else? Starfield. Yeah, it looks bad. Maybe in like 3 years when modders have had enough time to make it good, I'll give it a shot. But I am not interested. It looks bland, it looks boring, it looks bad. Oh, and I forgot to mention when I was kind of roasting it earlier, there's no gore. That's like a staple of every Bethesda game I've played that I've really enjoyed. I love the gore. Call me simple or whatever, man. But, I mean, my first real shooter experience was Gears of War. I like gore. There's no gore in Starfield. You tell me you got the mod gore in? You got the mod swimming in? What a, like, you can't take steps back and have me be satisfied. I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna fall in line and accept mediocrity. I've seen better, I've played better. If I have to, I will keep playing Payday 2. I'll keep playing Dead by Daylight. I'll keep playing Black Ops 2 for my Call of Duty fix for the rest of eternity, man. I'll keep playing the things that I know are good until they're not good anymore or until they cease getting updates or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, guys, it's time we stop accepting the mediocrity. It's time we call out the stuff I mentioned in this video. And if we don't, it's just going to get worse and worse. If you think it's bad now, if you think you're disappointed now with a lot of modern game releases, wait another 5 years. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just saying that 5 years ago, I brought all this stuff up because I saw where it was going. You can easily see where things are headed if you really take a step back and look at the big picture. And I see it heading to a point where it's microtransactions, it's mediocrity, it's the same bad UI being rehashed. It's the Call of Duty effect. It really is. Call of Duty makes money hand over fist, but despite like being awful, and they have all these tricks up their sleeve to just make money. That's all they care about. They don't really care about anything else. They just want to make money. They'll sell you anything and then not support it, or in some cases ban you for selling you a skin. For example, they released some skin by mistake. I heard recently you'll get banned if you equip it because they took it off the store or something. I don't know, man. Not only that, but they can't even be entirely truthful. I'm going to end this video with this right here. Check this out. Activision says the World Series of Warzone was the most successful Warzone esports event to date, with over 378,316 live viewers and 3,000 people in attendance at the arena. That number looks good, right? Despite the fact that nobody seems to be playing Warzone and people seem to be hating it and the numbers keep dropping, the player base keeps dropping. Well, you see, it's not entirely truthful because they were giving away beta codes if you tuned in for Modern Warfare 3. Haptic says, I wonder why all those people watched. Yeah, there's a lot of people just spamming the beta code thing. If they didn't do that, then do you honestly think anyone would tune into that garbage? Or at least, I don't think even 100,000 people would have tuned in. Seriously, I really don't. This is what I'm talking about. They don't mention the fine details. They don't mention the fine print. They'll say, like, this is the most advanced Call of Duty of all time with no actual backing. They'll say it was the most profitable Call of Duty launch of all time while charging $10, $20 more than average than old Call of Duty games. You can't take anything these guys say seriously. You just can't. This is something that, I don't know, man. I really don't want to see going forward either because it's disingenuous. It's not... It's like a car salesman or something, a used car salesman. Like, they'll show you the outside, they won't show you the actual engine. You get it home, and there's like squirrels mating in the engine. You know, you get it home, and Gary Busey pops out and hits you with a judge's mallet in the head. That's what it is. I don't know. It's a weird example, but regardless, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna end this video now. Rate, comment, and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Here's some parting advice.